morning. Glad to be here today. Let me start out with a quick video and then get to my narrative. What did we see in the video? To me, it depicted ingenuity of humans, the power of collaboration. And if we pause for a moment and reflect what we saw, there are so many functions inside a human body that silently powers this ingenuity. Functions that are mostly autonomous. Billions of cells collaborating, deeply connected and exchanging information. Managing so many of these core functions very naturally and effortlessly. Aren't enterprises somewhat like human beings in many ways? And if human body, one of the most complex of any systems known to us, can achieve this level of synchrony, why do enterprises have difficulty? So friends, I'm going to take the next 10 minutes to share my view on the power of a connected enterprise and the consequence of not having one. Enterprises, we heard in the earlier talks as well, have spent billions of dollars on digital transformation. While the digital enterprises has undoubtedly come a long way, it's still bogged down by silos, disjointed processes, and there is definitely data visibility issues. Let me take a few examples. If you look at marketing and sales, while marketing reps might have state-of-the-art email data analysis platforms to help them better understand customer mindset, sales often have the most up-to-date information on customer priorities in their CRM system. Both these data sets can be used to drive better outcomes in either of the department, but in many enterprises, lack of operational foresight and/or poor technology integration conspires and prevents this from making it happen. Research shows that 40% of marketing and sales personnel say that lack of shared data on potential customers was one of their biggest alignment challenges. Let me pick another example. This is marketing, and by the way, supply chain. If you look at a manufacturing organization, I'm sure many of you are from there, supply chain function has access to inventory in terms of what's getting sold where, so they can replenish. Wouldn't the same data in the hands of marketing allow them to make near real-time decisions in terms of their digital marketing spend? But most enterprises, again, struggle bridging this gap. Third example, we'll take a look at the big picture item, which is climate change. Every board, I'm sure you would be aware, is discussing about climate impact and net zero initiatives. For obvious reasons, this was the number one issue that got discussed in the recently completed Davos World Economic Forum as well. And I have had the opportunity to talk to a few CXOs, and all of them say they're struggling on this strategy, on executing on this strategy, specifically around scope 3 emission, simply because their value chains have no pathways to exchange data. So connected enterprise is much more than going digital. It is subtle, yet pervasive. And aspiring for a connected enterprise has to be a deliberate strategic choice. Talking about strategic choice, let me share a very personal example and how small shifts can lead to big changes. This was in 1999. I was just a few years into my workforce at that time, and I was working in a company called Brambles Incorporated, it was an industrial services firm. As luck would have it, I was asked to solve a dream project. And the project was to build a platform to track over 500 million assets around the world, be it on road, rail, ships, airways. Obviously got super excited, tried to figure out which technology we can use. And this is again 1999. This took me to MIT. When I went to MIT, I realized, and actually I met folks from Procter & Gamble, Philip Morris, Kimberly-Clark, all of them trying to find a solution to track all things in their supply chain. While we all shared the same vision and a purpose of tracking billions of assets, very quickly, while we were debating, we realized that our strategic orientation was not right. It dawned on us that the orientation should not be track and trace, but was to connect everything to everything, building a truly connected world. Now, this deliberate strategic choice that we made as a group aspired for a very large cause. This larger cause about connecting everything to everything led us to create what we all know today as Internet of Things. Today, we have billions and billions of devices, creating enormous value, connecting humans like never ever before, powering connected homes and smart cities. It is very important to make sure that we have the right strategic orientation. Even though so much connectivity exists in the world, when COVID hit, enterprises struggled with visibility and execution challenges. Inventories piled up, connections with customers broke down, and challenges with supply chain disruption mounted. Employees also struggled to stay connected remotely. Yes, the world is highly digitized, but COVID showed enterprises are still disconnected and quite siloed. Research also shows that enterprises which had invested in building digital workforce were able to weather the storm in the first few months far better than the enterprises that had not done so. During COVID, we saw a bunch of transformations. One of them is around consumers. 3/4 of consumers switched to new stores, started buying new products, new ways of buying products. Expectations of personalization has gone through the roof. And we all know most of these behaviors are here to stay. It's nothing to do with COVID. Now, why am I saying this? Because shaping the future for every enterprise will depend less and less on historical data, but will depend on the ability to sense the market, to understand changing customer preferences, to innovate faster, and to orchestrate the entire value chain to execute in short order. Can we imagine this future without being a connected enterprise? We all agree disruption to enterprises because of COVID was significant. While this is true, I believe what we're about to see because of artificial intelligence and machine learning is going to be far more disruptive. Let me take drug discovery as an example. We all know discovering drugs is very expensive and time-consuming. It averages in billions of dollars with a time frame of 10, 12, 15 years. And there are many steps to this drug discovery process, many multiple steps. Recently, we saw a major breakthrough in one of the drug discovery process, the task of folding proteins into three-dimensional structures. This task used to take traditionally many years using traditional methods. In 2022, AI was able to do this in seconds. What used to take years in seconds? Isn't this radical? Isn't this disruptive? How many of you have heard of OpenAI or ChatGPT? Can you show of hands? OpenAI, ChatGPT. If you have not, I'd recommend you check it out. As a company, we saw the immense potential of AI and supported OpenAI research 8 years ago. The big overarching question, as Sam Altman of OpenAI put it, what if the cost of intelligence becomes zero? Friends, I'm not talking about 50 years from now. It's happening now, and it's accelerating at a rapid pace. The fast evolution of general-purpose artificial intelligence is pushing the boundaries. ChatGPT that I mentioned earlier gives us a peek into the disruptive nature of this technology. We will soon be seeing a very different avatar of intelligent automation. How work gets done in every single enterprise will change radically in every single industry. The question is, are we ready for it? Are companies ready for this? And can this be handled without deep connection with customers, partners, and employees? A study by BCG showed almost 80% of companies are reactive, with operations that are not structured for long-term resilience. According to the research, only 20% of companies think and act like connected enterprise. Enterprises that are connected are far more agile for natural reasons, far more resilient, and stood a better chance of shaping the future. McKinsey research showed that these companies were uniquely positioned to accelerate innovation. And if you even look at the stock performance, there's clear evidence that resilient enterprises created multi-fold shareholder value as opposed to the ones that were not. So there are numerous data points to show that connected enterprise as a strategic priority cannot be ignored. So what can we do about it? While there are many ways to approach this, let me just suggest 3 things that I felt is pertinent to this group. Number 1, drive transformation from a connected journey perspective. Connected functions, connected SLAs, be it customer journeys, partner journeys, or employee journeys. Second, invest in technologies that will allow you to sense and observe. Harness contextual data that will drive and power your AI-enabled cognitive operations. And number 3 is mandate automation-first approach. Digitize your processes and documents. Invest in building a digital worker system. Before I close, I want to leave you with this question. How connected is your business? How many functions in your organizations are charting a path towards autonomous operations? Are you harnessing value networks or still thinking of linear value chains? I personally don't believe this transformation can happen without the leadership of this group of individuals who believe in process excellence. I'm running out of time. I look forward to having this dialogue with many of you during the course of the day. Thank you very much for your time, and have a great OPEX.